Welcome back. It's Coffee at FCG, your favorite podcast. We've got the whole gang here today.
Yay.
And we'll start with what we're drinking. And it's first thing in the morning for us today. So it's 4 in the morning. And I'm drinking, I don't know what I'm drinking. Coffee with just some half and half. But I don't know.
You have multiple drinks.
I do have multiple drinks. Ava sent me, this is like on with our banter, whatever, but Ava sent me the funniest TikTok, and it is, I guess on TikTok Shop. It is a drink holder, like a bag, and it's got 4 slots. And she was like, this is for you.
Yes.
It's so true. Because I've got my electrolytes, I've got my water, I've got my coffee, and I normally have my backup water. Because I am not drinking
water.
I like my spring water from the Concords. So I can't drink anyways. I have been buying
Have we
water at
talked?
the
Have
store.
we ever shared with the rest of the gang?
I get trolled hard enough when I tell my friends about it.
Yeah, I honestly,
Okay,
can't
well,
believe you guys drink that
just
water.
enlighten,
We
done it in
actually
a while.
I haven't done it in a long time.
I still
enlighten the
want it.
listener.
Just
Tell them where you guys get your water from.
I don't
a fresh
remember. Yeah.
healing spring
I don't know what you're talking about.
in Concord. It's a fresh spring, and I will go down there.
If you don't
and-
know, Concord's about an hour away from.
Yeah, that's why we
where
haven't
we're
been
at.
in a while, because right now I'm having to figure out, like, do I want to drive an hour for milk or do I want to drive an hour for water? Because I can't do both. It's just too much.
Yeah.
You know? So right now I'm choosing the milk because
But
that's
we
more
would
for
do
my
it
kids.
like once every 3 months, and we
Oh,
had
yeah,
all
it was
these
an
like
experience.
jugs that we would
They're like
load up
massive
in the car,
jugs
and then we would drive an hour
for
and
water.
then like fetch the water, and then the weight of that water.
That's true.
Man, it tore
looked
up
it
our
up.
car.
That's probably why we had to
also
sell that
Tore it
car.
up.
Now you have the big excursion.
Yeah.
You can
But
fill
also
it
it's
all
like-
the way up.
Untested, like
No,
it could
they
have
test
like
it.
salamanders in
Yeah,
it.
They
whatever.
test it.
It's fine.
Delicious.
No, they test it. It's there's a whole like little area where you get a brochure about that it's God's water but stewarded by the church, which
I like
they
that.
it's the church is called Cold Spring Church.
Wow.
It's pretty
It's
good.
at a church.
I love it.
Amen.
Anyway,
Maybe I'll see what they got to say. Maybe they have a coffee at Cold Springs.
water
Anyways.
at Cold Springs.
Yeah, they got water.
I don't know what kind of coffee this is. What I'm
Same.
trying to say.
It's just counterculture.
Oh, I love counterculture.
What we get.
I just wish that we would pick one that we like and stick to it, because I don't like when there's a blend of it, and I just don't like. So
That's what we get hologram every time. Counterculture. That's what we're drinking, both of us. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's just black
Mine has a little cream,
and something else.
a little turmeric, and a
Oh,
little
God, don't get me
wait,
started
a
on the
little
turmeric.
cinnamon.
I had
Yeah,
way too much turmeric the other day. Too much turmeric.
Remember that coffee he
Yeah.
got? It wasn't even coffee.
Too
was
much.
It was turmeric.
I was seeing yellow
It
for
was
3
a
days.
golden latte
so
minus
funny.
the coffee.
With like a sunrise.
forgot about that.
It wasn't their fault. It was my fault because I ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah, but just go and say, like, I want a cold brew. Instead, he was like, add a shot to this, like, not coffee. A gold milk latte is not
it was
coffee.
weird. I won't be getting that again, but
What a bummer.
You live, you learn.
it was
Anyways,
weird. Anyway,
I remember a bad coffee for years sometimes if I go out and buy it. Like,
Yeah.
it's been 2 years since we went to Not Just Coffee on my birthday, and I got their peppermint mocha latte, and I'm still thinking about it.
I don't think I think about it, but I do know I don't like something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
I think about
you
it.
stay away from it.
All right, Will, what are you drinking?
Black
Black
coffee. Yeah.
coffee. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
today we've got the only one left. The last, we almost went in age order. So,
Oh, true.
almost.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Except for I'm older than BJ.
Yep.
Yeah.
My old lady.
That is how we're going to start our marriage podcast.
Yeah.
My old lady.
Hey, it's BJ and my old lady. All right. Well, I'll kick us off here with my testimony. Yeah, it's just been a great series. I think I said this last week, but there's so much power in remembering things. And even from hearing Brittany's testimony and hearing BJ and Lisa's, it's just so cool the way the Lord worked it all out that we're even here today doing this podcast. Because you'll hear in a second that was a time in my life where that was, not even a possibility. So starting off, I had a great childhood. I had a lot of good times and some not great times, but great parents. I had, family who loved me, cared for me. And, my parents, my mom and dad were never married. They had me when they were very young, fresh out of high school. And I'm thankful that they had me. I'm thankful that my grandmother, my Meemaw, who I always call her Meemaw. If you're from the South, maybe you have that too. But
We all call her Meemaw.
yeah, we all call her Meemaw.
And in fact, one time BJ used her real name and I had no idea who he was talking about.
Oh, yeah. No, Diane did too. A few weeks ago, Diane said, BJ's mom, I talked to Melody this morning. I was like,
Who is Melody?
Who's Melody?
Yeah, but my Meemaw, she's
Our awesome candle is great, but
it's a smoke.
it's just
I see.
smoking. It's smoking your shot. Sorry,
just blow it out. We don't need it.
I don't know
It
what.
smells nice.
I don't
can
think
see.
it does, actually.
Okay, well,
Smells great.
I got a thing for smells. Wow, that made it much better.
Don't get me started on smells.
Anyway, yeah, I have a great family, still do, and when my parents had me, my Meemaw stepped in to basically, help raise me. So for the first part of my life, I lived at her house, with my mom, and then I would go to my dad, and that kind of was the way my life was for, the first 16 years of my life, constantly going back and forth between place to place. And for anybody that's done that, you know that it's not great. It's not awesome. I mean, it could be worse, but I didn't have a place really. Honestly, my grandmother's house, my Meemaw's house, was the place where I felt like this is my home. But then every, whatever it was, every Sunday evening, I would have to pack up and go. So that was my lifestyle. And then I would go to church with my dad. We would go to, I think we started off at Church of God, and I would go occasionally with my mom to a Baptist church, and made a lot of good friends. And I remember one week when I was at church with my dad, we ended up going to the church where me and Brittany met, actually, a few years later. And I remember being in kids' church. They called it KFC, Kids for Christ.
Oh, they did. Now I'm remembering that.
I was in KFC one day. I was probably, I don't know, like 8 years old or something. But I remember, accepting the Lord into my life. I remember crying, and I remember, it was just, I knew at that moment, okay, I'm saved. I did it. I'm saved. And I remember telling my dad about it. Of course, he was so happy, and that was great. And so childhood was good. A lot of moments where things could have been much better, but overall, it was what made me into who I am now, and I'm thankful for that. And I had great people around me that that loved me, and some that were not so great. But anyway, so accepted the Lord into my life at a young age, and got more involved in the church that we were going to. Right about the time I was like, I want to say 11, I was super into sports as a kid, super into soccer, still love soccer, but I was like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player. And that was what I thought. And then one day, I just watched the movie School of Rock with Jack Black, if you ever seen it. And I saw this kid playing the drums, and I was like, whoa, he's a kid. He's like my age. I can do that. And that's when, music really took over for me as the most important thing. So started music around 10 or 11 years old.
We can thank Jack Black for this.
We can thank
Thank
Jack
you,
Black.
Jack Black.
That's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. I mean,
That's amazing.
It was a pivotal moment.
Thank you,
in fact, here's a sidebar. But right around that time, there's a movie called Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell that came out.
Great
and this
movie.
was, I saw that, before I saw School of Rock. But that movie came out. I was still super into soccer. And I remember watching that like 2 days before I had a soccer game. And that was a terrible idea because I thought that I was
You want to do
those kids.
The Italians.
I was the Italians. And I went out there that Saturday to Martha
amazing.
Rivers. And I was like going down the field and twirling and doing the pullback.
No, you
and
were not.
I swear, ask my mom. Ask my mom.
I can't
so
wait to
good.
ask her.
I did the same thing with the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid. I used to play rec league basketball. You don't ever want to see me on a basketball court. But we went to the Charlotte Globetrotters or Harlem Globetrotters. And I thought, whoa, I can do that.
All right,
And
so
I went down the court. I went down the court, and my mom says, I absolutely out of nowhere jumped, spun, threw the ball backwards, and went into the stands. And I think the coach probably pulled me out of it.
So moral of the story is that you just believe you can
Anything
do
is
whatever.
possible.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's a good
Anything
trait.
is
No
possible.
limits. That's
Yeah.
right.
Good trait for
No
you.
limits. I'm gonna try it, and if it fails, I'm still trying it. So music took over for me, and my dad's still is a musician, still is a worship leader. So I grew up watching him. He plays guitar, and I remember, first instrument for me was drums, and that was super cool because I could play with my dad. And we actually started a band, the first band the first real band that I was ever in. Actually, the first band that I was ever in was with my friend Landon. Landon, if you're listening to this, we were called Bubble Gut. And we're still on YouTube. You can look it up. Landon the Drummer 182
There's so much
on
I don't
YouTube.
know about you. Okay.
Anyway, that was my
Tender
first
stories.
project. And then my first band with my dad was called Seeking Wreckage. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure why we were seeking that. Maybe we were
wreckage.
seeking to be wrecked.
Was that like when Titanic came out? Maybe
No,
you were
this
like
was long
seeking
ago.
wreckage, like you're seeking the Titanic wreckage or
When
something.
did Titanic come out?
That was
Wait,
like
what?
90s.
And
Could you
also-
just give us
no,
a picture
I don't
of
think
your
Will was
album
born
cover?
then.
Or like
Oh,
of
yeah.
your band picks.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some of my
Oh,
favorites.
yeah. Let's just say that scarves were big for guys back then, or maybe they weren't. Maybe I just was trying that. But yeah, I had
Railroads.
railroad tracks,
Gazing
Yeah.
into different directions.
different directions. There's
The
a picture
vest.
out there with, I have like a fedora on and a big scarf.
Oh my God.
And I'm holding my drumsticks. No drum set anywhere near, but got my sticks.
And
if
Brittany said, I'm going to
ready.
marry that kid.
Exactly.
That's the one for me.
Yeah. So we did that, and we would play it like Celebrate Recoveries and things like that, and that was awesome. And then
Literally played at one where my dad was. We
Yeah,
put
I
that
never-
together.
I never knew
later
that.
on, which was it's a weird
Yeah, that's
thing
cool.
now.
but this was before. Yeah, it was really. I was a kid, that was crazy. But so yeah, did that. Played in the worship team with my dad on Sundays. It was awesome. Played in the youth band, and that's really where some of my that time in my life is where some of my pivotal relationships were formed, and the relationships I still have today, which is awesome. But all of those Wednesday nights, and I was younger than everybody, so I wanted to just act like I was older, and I think it worked. I mean, I'm married to Brittany, so I think it worked. But I would always just try to be the center of the room and make everybody laugh, and forget about the fact that I was 12, and be like, who's a weird 12-year-old kid that's hanging out with us. But yeah, that was very, very pivotal for me, and did that for a long time. And like I said, I have these awesome relationships on one side of my life, and then I would go, to my mom's for the weekend, and I really didn't have any like friendships like that. Like I said, my mom's amazing. But in terms of like friendships, like it would be, maybe I wouldn't see those friends as much as I would with my dad or vice versa, that kind of thing. So it was always kind of like not super consistent for my life. And then it got a little older, and around the time I was like 15, that's when our youth group, or the youth leader that was over us at the time, who was a really good friend of mine, and he told us about City Youth. I'm not exactly sure how I heard about it the first time. I can't remember. But I want to say that it was either Brittany told me or somebody from our church or something like that said, hey, this is what we're doing Wednesday night. And we've talked about City Youth already, but it was super cool. It was, all the youth groups in the area, all the churches getting together. And it just was conveniently like walking distance from my mom's house, which there's a funny part about that I'll get to in a second. But we met, and the worship was always amazing, and it was just it was the place to be. Like if you were around that age group, it was the place to be on a Wednesday night. And so that's where we started doing that every week, and I feel like that's where I met BJ and Lisa for the first time. And like I said, I was younger, so the guys that were playing at City Youth, they were older and they were cooler and they were like better than I was, And I always thought like, man, if I could just get up there, like if I could show them what I got, I would blow them away. And yeah, if I could just get up there. And then one Wednesday night, forgot how it happened, but it was like towards the end of the night, it was, kind of like not an altar call, but like
the worship was just going.
It was just
night.
going. Yeah. And it was getting late, and I think whoever was playing drums stepped off or whatever. And BJ, I think, was the one that was like, hey, come up here and play with us or something. Or somehow I ended up on the drum kit. And I still have the picture. I guess I took a picture, or somebody took a picture of me that day.
I've never seen
that picture.
Yeah,
I have
want to
it.
see it.
I'll find it. I'm wearing a Jack's Mannequin shirt. I've got my shaved head, my glasses, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we need that picture.
Yeah, I'll find it. But that was, man, you talk about being on cloud nine. It was awesome. And then you talk about falling from cloud nine. Man, we're playing, and oh, it's so cool, and I feel so cool. And then right about that time, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I look around, and it's my mom. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And like in the cartoons, like or whatever, like when the guy's on the stage and that cane just comes and zoop, pulls him out. That's what happened. I had a flip phone back then. I was fortunate enough to have a phone, and I didn't answer any of the phone calls that my mom had called, or any of the text messages
Before Find My Friends.
Before Find My Friends, before
Life 360.
Life
is the one I was thinking
360,
about.
before group text, before really anybody had anybody's number, it felt like, or whatever. So all she knew was like, I'm missing, even though I'm right down the street, But yeah, I got yanked out of there and went back home, and I was pretty bummed about that. But thankfully, I played my best for them. Ba-rum-pa-pum-pum,
Yeah, you
and
did.
it left an impression, and they gave me the call back. That's what they say in the biz. You get the call back.
I knew he was going to take us on a journey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got that was the start of that relationship, and ended up just, I feel like for a while it was just kind of like following them around wherever they would go.
Which we loved.
And I remember even like you guys played at Morningstar, an SOS, a Friday night service. They used to call them SOSs. And I remember being there, and I remember the band, and I wasn't even playing, but I was just there. Mike was playing guitar. Our friend Paul was playing. And I just remember being like, man, that's such a cool, like, I want that, So then I'm playing music still, You know, it's still my passion. And about the time I turned 16, I just felt one day like I need to go. I need to like step out and go into this next thing. I didn't even have the language for it. I didn't know what I was talking about or where I was going to go. But I asked my dad, because he was my worship pastor at the time, my worship leader, and I asked him to go to lunch that he paid for because I had no money. Even though I did have a job, I didn't pay for it. But we went to Chick-fil-A, and I remember sitting down and just saying, you know, I feel like I need to leave our church. And looking back on that, I mean, we have 2 kids. I really can't imagine like Jolene, you know, saying that and me being like, what are you talking
It
about?
would literally
like,
be like Judah, because he's
you were raised here. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
be crazy.
It'd be tough.
And I
As a
really- it
parent,
was-
that's hard.
Yeah. And we weren't, I don't feel like, I mean, maybe we were as plugged in, but it wasn't the same. I don't know. But man, there was a ton of history there, a ton of like, I mean, I grew up there, and I can't imagine what that sounded like, having your son sit there and be like, I need to go. But anyway, my dad was all for it. You know, he was just like, I believe you hear from the Lord, and
Well,
it makes me
there was some
nervous.
hesitation.
There was some hesitation, you know, but he was like, I mean, you know, he was nervous. He said that, and, you know, sad and all this other stuff, but got his blessing on that. And, of course, my mom was just also supportive of it. And it's so crazy, but, I got a text or a Facebook message from someone that I didn't know, who was a mutual friend. And they went to this school called Comenius in Fort Mill, which is run by the church called Morning Star, which me and Brittany and BJ and Lisa had all been to before. Like I said, like been to SOS's, been to these awesome worship conferences, and man, it was so cool. And
and remember the time that
I
we
just,
okay,
yeah,
you were
I
about
think
to
I
say
just
that.
remembered, actually, before I got that Facebook message, we were at a conference. I think it was like a New Year's or worship conference or something. And all of our friends, you know, we would all pile up and go, and it was awesome. And I remember being on the 3rd floor, and because they have this like cool wraparound balcony thing, it's awesome. And I remember being up there, and I was just like enamored by what was happening, because there was just, the worship was awesome, band was super cool, you know, all that stuff. And then I just heard the Lord say, this is where you're going to be. And specifically, there was this one spot on the stage where the guitar player was playing, and he was like that. And I didn't really think about that at the time, but that was super significant. And I'll get to that in a second. But tell my dad I'm leaving. Tell my mom all that, and then get this message from who's one of my great friends now, Daniel. He said, "Hey, I saw on your Facebook page you're a guitar player," and we just started talking about guitar stuff. And then one thing led to another. He actually said, "By the way, I play at Morning Star in the worship team, and we're looking for more guitar players. So would you want to come audition?" And this was, again, after I had already told my dad that, before I had everything worked out or I knew where I was going to go. And it just was like, okay, well, that's the answer right there. And so went, and I think I drove myself, or maybe, no, I drove with my dad, because I just got my license. I was driving the big white Mountaineer. And I remember being so nervous. Oh my God, I was sweating. And I had this like hat on because I wanted to look like the Edge or something, the guitar player
Like
from
a
YouTube.
toboggan hat.
No, it was like a military, or maybe like more like a Johnny Buckland,
Marr?
Johnny
Oh, Johnny
Buckland from Coldplay, like the military hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were cool back, for a minute, for a
Yep.
second.
I had
You know
one.
what I'm talking about? Yeah. And went and auditioned and walked in the room, and there's this guy sitting there, got tattoos. He looks super cool. I'd seen him before, and I'm just thinking, this dude is not going to like me. This little, twerp coming in, playing the guitar, and played a few, I don't remember how long I played or even what I played. I just remember playing, and he said, "Okay, sounds great. When can you start?" And that was David, who is one of my best friends still, and he just was like, "All right, you're in." And I felt like I got a golden ticket or something. And so started playing there also on Sundays and for things. And then I would also come and play with BJ and Lisa. Sometimes I was just kind of like, I would just go play places. And that was really cool for me because it's what I wanted to do. And I didn't think anything about it. It was just awesome. I would go to church, I would play, I would hang out with some people, and and then maybe next week I would be somewhere else. And that was cool. And, made a connection with David. We became like fast friends. And then really shortly after, we're traveling the world. We're going to, the first place we went to was Norway, went to California, went to somewhere else. I don't remember, but we were traveling, I was playing, and I felt like a rock star. I was like, again, I can't imagine my parents like just meeting this guy who's covered in tattoos, and he's like, "Hey, I want to take your son across the world. Does he have a passport?" And my parents were just like, "We'll get him one, I guess." And they dropped me off at the airport and crying and all that stuff. My dad
For like 5 days.
My dad tried to walk back to security with me, and I remember being like, "Go away, Dad, come on." And
I don't need you.
She's like, Dad, I got my scarf on. I look cool.
Yeah, I had my big guitar case, which I'm remembering more. I'm trying not to take up a ton of time, but I'm remembering more as I'm talking. But that guitar that I had, funny enough, was given to me by my friend Paul, who still goes. We just played together this past Sunday at church. But I remember being super young at our church that we grew up in. We played a fall festival one night, and then the next day, all of our stuff got stolen. The church got broken into. My guitar got stolen.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
We all have theories about who did that.
Yeah. I know who did it. In my mind, I know who did it.
I'm positive.
But my guitar wasn't even really worth that much on paper, but it was worth a lot to me. And yeah, that just reminded me of, I remember it was a Wednesday night, and somehow Paul texted me or called me, and he just said, "Hey, I have something I want to drop off," or something like that. It was very like, incognito on Wednesday night. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll be there." I remember he pulled up in the parking lot, opened the trunk, and I saw his guitar case, and I was like, "Oh man, that's cool." And he opened it up, and I was like, "Oh dude, I love this guitar." And he was just like, "Well, it's yours. That's yours now." And he said, do whatever you want with it. You can sell it. You can do whatever. He was like, "But this is yours." And it was an amazing guitar. I regret heavily. I think about that guitar all the time. I will find it one day. It was a Jerry Jones. It was beautiful. But I took that guitar to Norway, and that's what I played for the first long time that I was at Morningstar. So that's really cool. But anyway, I make these relationships. I'm, getting more in the circle, I guess, of musicians, meeting a lot of amazing people between the people that BJ and Lisa were connected with, and we're branching out and playing with, and I would get to be a part of that sometimes. And then the people that I met through Morningstar that would come through, and it was awesome. I was like living the dream. It was super fun for a kid like me to be able to do that. And around that time, it was, I guess I was probably 17, 18. Me and Brittany are dating by that time, which a little bit about that. I know she shared a lot about it, but that was just insane from the start. We grew up together, and she told about the night that we were together, or the night that we actually, both broke up with the people that we were with. But that was just insane. It was nothing that we did intentionally. I was dating somebody, and I didn't have any understanding of like dating to marry or anything like that. I just thought, well, you just date people. And it was not a great relationship. And obviously, and I remember the night that we broke up, she stormed out of my Meemaw's house and and she was yelling and cussing and doing all this stuff. And I remember standing, I went to go after her, like, you know, to her car. And my mom and Meemaw went running to the front door, just boom, 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 boom. And I remember standing at the door with my arms like this because they're shorter than me. And I was like, I've got this. And I went out to the car and we broke up.
She was older than you.
She was older than me. Yeah, well, just, well, you know, what can you say? You know, I got game or whatever. I don't know. I had braces. I don't know. I was an ugly kid. I don't really get how any of it worked out. Yeah, so we broke up, and then it was, I remember just feeling really bummed out. And that's when my dad, I guess, is the exact moment that my dad texted Brittany, and all of that stuff started to fall into place. And within a couple months, you know, this girl that I had kind of like always thought was like way out of reach for me, like that'll never happen because she's older, she's, you know, cooler, like dating other people, whatever. He was in a metal band, and I thought, oh, well, he's super cool. Like, I can't do that. So then we started dating, and even just having that foundation of starting off as friends was, you know,
Told
everything.
your dad at 14 you were going to marry me.
I did. Yeah, I
And
did.
I was like, I didn't know
I did.
that
Yeah.
until like we were dating.
Yeah, I did.
I'll marry that girl.
Yep. In fact, one of the first weeks that, you know, we were dating, and my mom pulled and dropped me off to youth group, I think, she saw you walking across the parking lot. And I think she told my Meemaw or something like, he's going to marry her, like the way he looks at her, you know. And so that was really cool. And that foundation that we had is, you know, is pivotal. If you have the opportunity to do that, which you should, have the opportunity to be friends with your spouse before they're your spouse, I highly recommend it. You should all do that. So we're dating. I'm playing music with people. Life is good. And then right around that time, I thought, okay, well, now I feel like I'm supposed to do something else. I had this moment. I'm not, you know, I had this moment that was kind of discouraging for a second, where someone at Morningstar had brought me and a couple other guys in and said, hey, by the way, like, you know, the people that we bring in for conferences and stuff, like, you guys will never do that. You'll never be on that level. That's why we bring in professionals. And I remember leaving that and just thinking, well, I'm gonna prove them wrong. You know, I was good, but I wasn't great. You know, I had a lot to learn, and thankful for people like Shay, my friend Shay, who, you know, just poured into me musically and taught me and really, really shaped me. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to keep doing this, but I kind of want a new challenge. So I started to play in another church, and a bigger church, and had to audition for that. Had to do that a couple of times. Actually, I didn't get it the first time, and then second time I did. So then I'm there, also in my rotation. And at that point, you know, talking about foundation, like, I never really had one. So again, like from the very beginning, no real consistency. And I just kind of carried that on as I was getting older. I didn't have a place where I was like really taking in the word. My relationship with the Lord really didn't go past like, okay, I'm saved. And then it was like, okay, well, you know, I feel the Lord. I feel goosebumps every now and then, and like worship is powerful, and I love to worship, and I would have these awesome experiences in worship. And then after that, that was it. You know, I didn't take it anywhere past that. I didn't, it wasn't really a thought of like a relationship. It was just kind of like these moments. Hey, we will be back next week with part 2 of this episode. And in the meantime, we would love to see you at Freedom Church Gastonia Sundays at 10:30 a.m. It's a great place to be, great place to sow. and great place to meet some new people. So come join us on Sundays. And if you have any prayer requests or needs that we could help, we want to hear from you. info@fcgastonia.com. Let us know how the podcast is helping you, and we would love to hear from you. So we'll see you soon.